Welcome to my channel. It's your boy Jay Lou. I got an in-depth review with the Tesla Model 3. Let's get straight into it. All right, before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I got more Tesla content coming. So for this in-depth review, we're gonna have three categories. There's the good, the bad, and the bruh. Now the good are things that are really good about this car that you're gonna love. The bad are, it's kind of nitpicking, but it's little odds and ends you're gonna have to learn about this car and either like or you're gonna dislike. Now the bruh are serious issues or problems I have with this car, things you can't get over so easily. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first thing you guys are gonna notice about the Model 3 is the paint. This is the white multi-coat. This is actually their free option. So the other options, they cost anywhere from $800 to $2,000. So this is the free option. It's actually really nice. In the sun, it looks perfect. It really pops. The next thing you'll probably notice is these rims. So these are the 19-inch sport rims. These are different than the 18-inch aero wheels they have. Those are more aerodynamic. Those will give you more range. But these look way better to me, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. Next thing you'll probably notice is these side mirrors. So these are folding. Obviously the car is in park right now, so these fold, and these are also aerodynamic too. Everything about this car is about being aerodynamic. It has a drag coefficient of 0.23. Now what the hell does that mean? That just means it's very aerodynamic. That's all that means. Another thing I like about this car too is the door handle. So these are, again, about aerodynamics. They sit flush with the car. And to get in, basically, you push your thumb right here, that unlocks the car, and then you just pull to open it. So if you notice, when you stick your thumb in, that just unlocks the door, it puts the windows down that are frameless, and then you just open up the car like that. Also, we got the glass roof. So the entire roof windshield is glass. It's in three parts, but everything is glass. There's no metal on top of here, and it's actually been stress tested and everything to actually be really very much strong, as strong as a metal roof too. And then if you look at the back, you'll see even more of the aerodynamics of the car. Is you have this trunk lid, which is essentially like a spoiler, and in the performance model you actually get a carbon fiber spoiler on here too that attaches right here. And you have the Tesla logo in the back, and you also have, this is the long range dual motor, so it says dual motor. The Tesla moved to a system like this, so if it's dual motor, it'll have this. If it's not dual motor, it won't have anything here. If it's performance, it'll have dual motor and a red underline under it. So then I think we should check out the front now. So I'm gonna use the Tesla app on my phone. Pop the frunk. Frunk pops open. Since there's no engine in this car, it's all electric. You just have an area right here where you can store things. You can fit a carry-on baggage here. It's pretty good. You can also fit, like I have some shoes in here, a backpack. It's really convenient for storing things. I actually like digging in here. Easy. Put your basketball shoes in here, go work out. And this is how you close it. Two hands over the Tesla logo. Okay, now for the bad. First thing, this frunk. Now, while I love it a lot, there isn't really that much space in it. I mean, you can fit a couple things, but especially like the height of it, it's not that high. Like it would be perfect if you fit a full suitcase in here. That may be asking for a lot, but it's very tiny. I mean, but yeah, it's kind of small for what it is, but I still like it though, so it is a little nitpicking. Other thing is this white paint. Oh, I should get into this first, actually. Now, another annoying thing about the front is you have to close it like this with two hands outside the logo. Now, why that's annoying is, let's say you have something in your hand, you're gonna have to put it down and close it with two hands. You can close it with one, but you're not supposed to. In the manual, it says close it with two hands. So you kind of risk breaking it if you wanna have it be more convenient, basically. Another thing is the white paint, it picks up dust really fast. But I mean, it's a great color though, so again, it's nitpicking. Now for the bruh, nothing. Nothing. This car looks great from the outside. There's nothing I think that's too major of an issue. I think it's an amazing car from the looks of it outside. Okay, so we got the trunk right here. You can just open it up. If you see, it has a lot of space actually. And actually right here, it has an under compartment. There's a lot of space down here for a lot of things. So we have the charging cable and the front license plate bracket right there. Okay, so there's a lot of space. Let's just see how much space there is in there. So I'm gonna let these front seats back. Okay, now I'm 6'5". Let's see if I can fit in this trunk. Okay, almost. I'm almost in the trunk, and you can actually see me through the glass. Shoot, I might have to come back here and take a nap sometime. Okay, you can fit in the trunk. So it's not too bad. It's a lot of space. This is a small car too, so it's kind of impressive that I can fit in here. Okay, let's see if my 6'5" self can fit in here. Okay, so it's not as spacious as the front seat, but it's not too bad. The glass roof, it kind of curves down a little bit in this area. So your head is really close to the ceiling. I have a high top fade, so it's kind of like brushing against the ceiling basically. But it's all good. It's not too bad. The good part about it is there's no hump right here like in most cars. So you can kind of like spread your legs out a little bit more than you would if this was just like a Honda Civic or something like that. So that part about it's good. Also, you got the USB ports right here. So you can charge your phone while you're in the back. I'm typically not in the back when I'm in this car, but it's good to know that if I do have to get back in here, it's not too bad. All right, so looking at the interior, you have the steering wheel right here. This is like a smaller steering wheel that I'm used to, but it works really well actually. You get used to it. You have the scroll wheels. These are the two scroll wheels. The left one controls music. You can pause it. You can skip tracks, all that, volume. The right one is for voice control and also some autopilot things, which we'll get into later. But yeah, they work really well. You have the stock right here too. So it has reverse, neutral, and drive. It takes some getting used to. Especially you're used to that like gear selector right here where you just go to park and your e-brake and all that. They don't have that in this car, but you control all that from right here. And you can also control this with autopilot. On your left, as always, is going to be the turn signal. So it's pretty much the same as every other turn signal out there. You have this armrest right here. It's pretty big. I like it because when you're driving, you just want to kind of relax like this. It's bigger than the one in the Model S and the Model X, which is good. And the cup holders right here, two side by side, they work as expected. You have cubby space in here. You have a lot of space in here actually. You have space here. You have space right here. And you also have like a place for your phone where you can dock it in and charge it and everything. And this is actually the perfect place where you would want your phone like while you're driving, so you can have it at a glance basically. And also the white interior, let me just say, this is the best interior. You got to go for the white. It looks really good. Normally when you get the black interior right here, this white bar is wood, which I prefer this little white bar, and then it has the white and black accents all over the car. You have the black rugs though, which is important because if this was white carpet, that would be really, really hard to clean. But it's got the black floor mats and everything, and the seats are really comfortable. For a affordable car, this is a really, really good interior. Another good part is this huge screen. So it has a lot of information. On the right side, you'll have the map, and you'll have on the left side basically the most important information: what gear you're in, park, reverse or drive. You can open up the trunk and the front from here. You can deal with charging. You can look at your rear camera. It just has everything is built into here. There's not basically any buttons besides The hazard lights and your scroll wheels and your gear selector, everything else is controlled with this, which has its positives and negatives. But overall, it's very good. You also have the air conditioning. So if you go into here, it actually has like a visualization to show where the air is moving. And so it's really good because, when you first get in a car, sometimes you have to adjust where the air is. And if someone else drives in it, then you have to change it back to where to get it to beam in your face. And this like shows you exactly where it's going. So for instance, when I have it on this mode, I have the other passenger side air coming towards me too, so I can cool me down. And also I have it on auto, which works really well. So how it works is basically if you put it down, it's going to put the air on higher to get it down to 62 degrees. And if you put it up, let's say to 77 or whatever, it's going to turn off completely because it's under 77 degrees. So I like to keep it around like 71, 70. Also, another good part is Sentry mode. So your car has a bunch of cameras on the outside of the car, and in the settings you can go to safety and security and turn on Sentry mode. And this will, when you're not at a place, I have a home and favorites excluded. When you're at like a random place, let's say you're at the mall, you park and your car will record all around itself. And let's say someone gets close to it, it'll have an alert come to your phone, hey, Sentry mode was activated, and it'll have something pop up right here to tell you, hey, the car is recording, to kind of dissuade people from trying to rob your car or anything like that. So Sentry mode is very useful in the God forbid chance that you need it. Another great thing is the driver profile. So you can have your settings where your seat is, where your AC is. A lot of your settings can be saved to a profile. So let's say you have Bob and Sue, I don't know. And Bob is my height, 6'5", and Sue is 4'9". You can have her seat adjust right when she gets in the car. When you have your key linked to your profile, you can have it so that when you get in the car, your settings are boom, right, ready to go, right ready to go. So if I click on J. Lou, it adjusts the seat to where I want it, and adjusts the steering wheel to where I want it. And you figure this out all, and then you just save it to your profile. So it's really convenient, especially if you have multiple drivers. Okay, let's get into the bad of the interior. First, the back window has very limited visibility. So it kind of looks like you're, viewing it out of some goggles, basically. Maybe not that extreme, but it is limited as far as, like, I drive a Honda Accord. You can see, like, pretty much everything behind you. So it is limited visibility. Another thing is, Sentry mode is very hard to review footage. So when it saves to your computer, it saves basically every angle, and it just saves them constantly. So it's so hard to review, honestly, that your car could have gotten scratched and you just never reviewed the footage. And once you find out about it, you're like, okay, when did that happen? It's really hard. It's not as easy as, okay, Sentry mode alerted, right? And you press on your screen and look at the footage. Oh, nothing happened. Okay. And then you carry on about your day. So that's the annoying part. I'm sure that'll get fixed eventually, but that's one thing I also don't like. Also, the glass roof, because it has so much UV protection, it's really dark, and sometimes you just don't use it because it's so dark. Like you just forget it's there. You just think it's the roof, and you're like, you don't really use it. Also, the sun, you can still feel it beaming down against you. I know it has like 99% UV protection or whatever, but you can still feel the sun beaming on you. So you gotta kind of put your AC on, like if it's a really hot day. Also, there's no power lift gate on the front or the trunk. I would love a car this expensive to have those things because it's so much more convenient. Yeah, you have the cars under that you can stick your foot under to open it. And this car is really cool that you have the app and you can open it remotely. It would be really convenient if they had a power lift gate, especially with the front, because it's so hard to push down. And the trunk too takes a lot of force to close down too. So those are little nitpicking things. Those are things that can be solved. I know they have aftermarket power fronts and power trunks. So it can be solved if you really wanted to spend the extra money. Okay, now for the bruh of the interior. This thing right here. You might be asking, what do you mean this thing? There isn't anything right here. That's my bruh. There's no speedometer right here, and this would really use it. In the Model S and the Model X, you have a digital speedometer right here, and it shows I believe on the left is this, your car, and the cars around you. In the middle, it's your navigation, and on the right, you can like customize it to be energy or whatever you want it to be. Now, this one does as best a job as it can. It keeps your speed right here and your park and your drive, but you just have to look all the way over to it. And especially if you're driving with other cars on the road, that information it provides is like really useful. Like, oh, a car's coming up, let me not change lanes, or there's a car behind me that's like going really fast or something like that. That information would be great to have just right directly in front of you, and you can see it easily. So you have to do a little bit more work in this car and look down to your right. I mean, it could be. I feel like it's gonna be hit or miss for some people. Like, you can get used to it. Like, for instance, I'm used to it by now, but there is a part of me that's like, I wish it was right here. Like, I still think of that all the time, and that's why I think that the Model X is like the perfect car for me. I think if it had this screen and their speedometer, it would be perfect. And this interior I prefer over the Model S and X, but it's just that, I just wish that was right there for me. So yeah, that's the bruh. Okay, this is the charging section. Let's start with the good. I'm at the Burbank Supercharger right now, and I'm about to go charge. Okay, so as you see, it's starting to charge right now. This is one of the biggest positives of being with a Tesla is you have the supercharger network. So pretty much wherever you go in the United States, you can find a supercharger on the way to charge. They're really convenient because you just pull up, you press the button on the charging port, and it'll open your charge, and then you plug it in, and then you're off to the races. You start to see right now it's starting to ramp up. I intentionally made it like a lower charge, or didn't come in with a higher charge, because when you have a higher charge, it goes slower. So right now it's at 100 kilowatts right now, and it's going at 400 miles per hour. So that means in 30 minutes this will be up to 80%. It's really convenient if you have at-home charging. So that's the most convenient thing is you get home, you plug it in. You can set your charge to, right here it says scheduled charging, so you can charge like, okay, let's charge after 12 because energy is cheaper then, or what have you. And then when you wake up, you have a full charge, so you never have to go to the gas station to fill up. That's one of the really convenient things about having an electric vehicle. And also it's a lot cheaper. So I think I charged last time, it said it's using the current session right now, it's 32 cents right now. But the last one, it was $18, I think, to fill up from 10% to, I believe, 80%. So, you know, if you get $20 at the gas station, which it's $4 over here in California, that's getting you like 5 gallons, which isn't doing anything for you pretty much. So you can pretty much fill up with these to like $15-ish to basically fill up like from 20% to 80%. So that's like awesome. Like, you save way more money like that, because gas is like, you have to pay it so much because you burn gas so fast, especially if you're commuting to work or you're driving around and you sit in LA traffic, you're burning gas a lot, and energy is way more efficient than gas. So that's one of the biggest positives of having an electric vehicle like a Tesla. Another thing I really like about charging is the fact that you have the superchargers is you can just navigate to, let's say, New York. And it will map out basically a route that you can take with all the superchargers. The ones that are grayed out are ones you can't reach right now with whatever range you have, and the ones that are red, like deep red, are the ones that you can actually get to. So right now it says finding superchargers for your trip. Now, this is a long way, so it's going to calculate where you need to stop. Okay, you're going to arrive here at 20%. Okay, you charge to 80%. Maybe you go another 200 miles and then you need to charge to 100% because there's not enough chargers on the way, but it basically maps it out for you, which is really convenient. This kind of disables the myth of like range anxiety, like, oh, I'm gonna run out of battery and I'm gonna be stranded or something like that. Pretty much like 99% of your driving, there's gonna be a supercharger along the way. So it took a little bit, but you see it's mapping it out. So it's like you're gonna start You start in LA, you're gonna go to, I can't see where this is. Okay, you're gonna stop in Baker, California. You're gonna go to Kingsman, Arizona, and then you just keep following this along the way, and it tells you what state of charge you're gonna be and how long you're gonna be charging there. So this one you're gonna be at you're gonna be charging there for 30 minutes. You're gonna charge here for 30 minutes. You're gonna charge here for 25 minutes, and then you basically get all the way to your destination. So the fact that you have access to supercharger network, this is the unique thing about Tesla. No other brand of EVs have this, so it's really convenient to have. They have other options though. They have Electrify America. They have PlugShare. They have third-party other ones you can use, but they use a different type of port than the Tesla one, so you're gonna have to get an adapter for it. Also, the high-powered ones, they use this they use this plug called a CCS port, and you would need an adapter for it to use with your Tesla, because those are the ones that get really high voltage or whatnot in kilowatts, and that's what charges your battery really, really, really fast. And the thing with charging is once you get towards the top end, it slows down. As you see right now, it's at 390 miles per hour, which it dropped a little bit. I've seen it max out at, I think, 600 miles per hour, charging. But once it gets to 98 or 90, it really slows down to 40, 50 miles an hour. Because I guess it's sort of like filling a tub with water. If you were taking a bath, you could fill it up really fast in the beginning, but then once you get towards the end, you have to slow it down so that you don't overflow the tub. And so that's for the good part. Okay, for the bad portion of charging, so it's not as easy to fill up as gas. So you can find a gas station anywhere. You want to take a road trip somewhere, there's gonna be a gas station somewhere, and gas stations are all over the place. For instance, in this location, this Burbank supercharger, this one is new, so this one wasn't here for a while, but there was one in Glendale, and the one that's closest to that. I mean, you zoom out on the map, there's one in Glendale, there's one in Burbank, but there's none on this side. So there's gas stations littered all over this map if it add this on here, but you have one in Santa Clarita, and you have one in Santa Monica. You have one in LA, but there's just you kind of have to plan a little bit. So for instance, if you live in Burbank, this is convenient because it can be down the street from you or whatever. But if you were in an area where there isn't a supercharger, you have to figure out things like charging at home, and that's ideal. But not everyone owns a house. A lot of people have apartments, and you can get it installed there. It's just a lot of extra hoops you have to go through, talk with your landlord, you have to get an electrician, come out, you have to do a lot of things. And it's just not as convenient as just you go to the gas station, spend 5 minutes there, boom, you're out of there, and you don't have to fill up, depending on how much you drive, for a couple of days, maybe a week, some people 2 weeks. Another bad thing is you have to watch your charge. So with the Tesla, with any EV really, you want to stay between 20 and 80%. You don't want to, for extended amount of time. So you don't want to be below 20% for a long period of time, and you don't want to be above 90% for a extended period of time. If you let your battery die, it's really bad. You're gonna have to take it to the service center and stuff like that. So you have to keep it alive. The good thing about it is that the battery lasts a really long time when it's idle. I think it burns about a mile a day. So I mean, if you leave for a trip, 15-day trip, and you come back, if you left it like that, you come back to the 15%. So your battery's not gonna die. But let's say you leave it at 5% and you're on a 15-day trip. You don't want to do that because you'll mess up the battery. So it's just, you have to kind of keep that in mind to keep it at a certain charge. If you're charging at home, you don't have to worry about it because you just plug in and your battery will be charged that whole time you're gone and overnight and all that. But it's just extra things you have to worry about. Okay, for the bruh section, there's nothing. Honestly, there's nothing too bad about charging. I think overall, the good outweighs the bad. Yeah, you have to go through extra things, but it's worth it. You pay less for your fuel, your gas or whatever. It's easier. You could charge at home. So there's no bruh to it. You could adjust to being in an EV no matter what car you drive. It's a little bit extra that you have to worry about, little nitpicking things, but overall it's way better. So in this good section, driving is the funnest part of this car pretty much. The car really like accelerates super fast, uh, and it actually has really good one pedal driving. So basically, when you let your foot off the gas, the same way that propels it forward, it like takes that energy back, called regenerative braking, and it lets you charge your battery a little bit. So if you're going on hills and stuff like that, you can actually like recoup some of the energy you drain from driving. And I'm gonna take you guys to a section right now where we'll get to test out this acceleration and see just how fast this is. Now this is the dual motor all-wheel drive Model 3, and just waiting for this person to turn. So this is the long-range dual motor car. So this isn't the top of the line Tesla Model 3, but it's like really close. This is man, there's some acceleration for you guys right there. It's really fast. It surprised me because they have a performance edition, but this isn't even performance. This is the one lowest in that. So this is 0 to 60 in, I believe, 4.5 seconds or 4.3. And the performance model is 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. So that's really fast. I mean, that's almost like, you know, hypercar Lamborghini status. And this is like, you know, just a little sedan. So it's really fun to drive. I feel the acceleration like a lot, especially on the lower end. Once you get towards like 80-ish miles, like you can still feel it, but like when you are at a standstill and you just take off, like it goes. Like you notice in a regular car, in a gas car, usually like you stomp the gas pedal, and then like it takes a second to like rev up, and then boom, it goes. This one is just like go, like it's instant. Instantaneous torque, and you just go really extremely fast. And like I've had other people, you know, pull up next to me at a stoplight, and I just dust them, like, because the car is just, especially in like bursts, it has a lot of, it's very quick, like it just goes boom, you know what I mean? That's what makes driving it like really fun, just because you use that a lot. Like you're going on a freeway and on ramp, you know, you need to get by somebody, you know, they're going slow, you just go by. And in Cali especially, sometimes you need acceleration because people don't want to let you over. Like you'll have your turn signal on for like an hour, they won't let you over. Sometimes you got to be a little aggressive and just take it. So that's what makes driving this really fun. The screen too, I do like the screen too. It shows you like a visualization. Actually, this is a new V10 feature. It shows the oncoming cars, which I'll have a video all about V10. And it shows the lane lines that you're in. On streets, it's not as accurate, I would say. On freeways, it's super accurate. You can see pretty much like 3 lanes of traffic, and you can see like buses, vans, trucks. You can see it all in this like screen visualization, basically. All right, so let's see how fast this car goes. I'm gonna go really slow right now just so I can get to this straightaway at as little miles as I can, and press down. This car is so damn fast. Oh man, it just throws you back. Like, this isn't even the performance model. Like, that's crazy. Oh man, that's fun. Whew. Man, I would love to take this to the drag strip. Oh my God, it's so fun. This is what this car is all about, acceleration. Oh my God, I love it. Oh man, I can't even imagine having the Model S, which is 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds. That's even faster than this. That probably, like, you know, puts a hole in your gut, basically. But man, I love this car's acceleration. It's freaking awesome. Okay, for the bad. Now, I like a lot about this car, but one thing I don't like is the turn signal. So it's kind of annoying. Basically how it works is, I don't know if you know, in some cars, you put the turn signal down, you tap it down to basically do like three or four clicks and like you're changing lanes. This one, you tap it down, and it does about 3 clicks. But it's really fast. It's too fast because if you know it, if you're in LA traffic, you need to like signal for a while to let people know you want to go. Then you can go over, and then your signal be done. So what you have to do is, it doesn't lock in place. It kind of goes down 2 clicks, and that'll keep it on. But it's kind of annoying because you got to go all the way down, and then you have to like push it up in order to change. And sometimes you miss it, and you go like you put your right turn signal on. So it takes some getting used to. Again, this is like nitpicking things, but it's just kind of annoying. I wish they would have it that when you do one tap, you would do it until you change lanes. That would be really cool. Like, or have it be like you can customize how many clicks it is. Maybe it's like 4 or 5. Maybe it's 8. You know, because you're gonna need you use your signal all the time. I mean, you're supposed to anyways. But and yeah, that's just one of the little annoying things about it. Okay, for the the lack of a speedometer. Again, it's really annoying sometimes not having a speedometer there, just because they cram everything into the screen. And it does a good job of like having most things. I mean, your car's right here and everything, but I would love to have the information right in front of me. And especially when you're driving, like they about to pull me over. So when you're driving, you like people come up in your blind spot. You know, people are speeding. And it tells you that right here. But you have to look sort of down to the right to see it. And especially if you're navigating too, you have to look like all the way over. And it just gets kind of annoying having to look all the way over at the screen when you're trying to get places and stuff. It's still not as bad as like if you were on your phone or anything like that. But still, like, I just really wish like this, at least this visualization right here was right here. Like, I don't care about the speed. I can get used to that. Everything else, but just having the visualization and all that information with all the cars around you, can see like, cars are coming this way, cars coming up on your right, and you can see all that information. It's really, it would really be helpful if this would just be right in front of you. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys auto park. So I pulled up to this spot, and when you see a P, that means you can auto park. So let's see how it does. Shift to reverse, press start. Okay, that I aborted it on accident, sorry. Okay, let's see how it does. I have my foot hovering over the brake. It's a pretty big parallel park though, so it should be able to do this easy. Okay, nice. It's doing this all in, and it's gonna probably correct itself. It'll probably pull forward and pull to the right a little bit. Yep. Nice. So for people who can't parallel park, this is good. But the only crappy thing about this is it only works and it puts into park for you. And this only works in like limited situations. Basically, there has to be either 2 cars. Like if you're parallel parking, there has to be 1 car in front, 1 car behind you, and a certain distance. So like you can't have like 1 car over here, the other car a block away, and like they have to be somewhat close together. Basically, a spot that you can fit a car in. And also, like the regular one, it'll back you into spaces, but that only works if there's 2 cars side by side. So if there's like there's 2 open spaces, it's not gonna come up. So it's really limited right now. I'm sure they'll get better in the future, but it is cool to have. Like, I haven't tried it on like tight parallel parking spaces because it kind of struggles with that. But wide open ones like this, like which I could do myself probably, but it's pretty cool. It's like a nice little gimmicky thing, but. Yeah, I like it. I'm sure it'll improve over time. Okay, we're gonna get on the freeway and test out autopilot. This is like the most high-tech feature of this car. It'll be able to do full self-driving, so drop you off at work, go home if you want, go park for you, do whatever you need to do, and then come back and pick you up and then take you to wherever you need to go. So that's what Tesla's touting as the future of this, but they have right now autopilot and navigate on autopilot. So basically those ones are advertised as on-ramp to off-ramp. So basically you're supposed to be able to use this when you get on the freeway And then once you get to your exit, you can like take it off and do like the manual driving yourself and everything. So that's pretty cool. Let's start with the good of it. So the good, this is like a really cool feature. And if you take anyone for like a test drive in your car, like they're gonna be amazed by this. Everyone who sees autopilot in action for the first time is like amazed, because it's kind of scary too at first, but you get used to it. But it's very like, so I'm gonna put it on right now. And so it's gonna stay in the center of the lanes. You can see that it sees like the truck ahead of us, the car ahead of us, and there's a car 2 lanes over. I don't think it sees that. But you're supposed to keep your hands on the wheels at all times. It's really convenient, especially if you're in stop and go traffic, because it's just really mind numbing just having to, stop, go, change lanes and all that. This will do everything for you pretty much. So now with this one though, this is part of the full self-driving package, and that includes everything you're gonna need in order for full self-driving in the future. So in order for your car to just do whatever you like, let's say you want to go to Chicago, you go to sleep in your car, and when you wake up, your car will be there. Basically, it'll do everything for you, and it works pretty well. Let's get into the bad part of it though. So the bad of this is first of all, it says on ramp to off ramp, but in all actual reality, it's not really like that. So you're gonna have to disengage sometimes. Sometimes it'll do weird things. Sometimes it'll get confused. The area to our right is one area it does sometimes. Like, see, it just brake for no reason right there. Sometimes it sees things that it thinks is like a danger or something, and so it'll brake for you. What's even more frustrating is you have to keep your hands on the wheel. Now, I know that's like the safe thing to do, but it is kind of annoying too, like, because I don't know if you'll notice here. See, it just braked again for no reason. As I'm doing this live, it's kind of acting weird, as you see. So the fact that this is like a $6,000 purchase price for FSD, and which includes Navigate on Autopilot, and it has a bunch of features that are for the future. So you're basically pre-ordering it. It should be a little bit better. So now this is, okay, now it's telling me to confirm a lane change. It has an option where you can have it automatically change lanes, but I found that to be even like more like stressful and annoying, because it doesn't really, sometimes it'll veer into the lane and then it'll come back, or it will, try to change lanes, doesn't work, come back, try to change lanes again, and then it'll cancel it. And so you'll be in regular autopilot. And so those are little things that you have to be concerned with autopilot. All right, so just to wrap things up for my Tesla Model 3 review, I think it's an amazing car. Now the question you might ask is it worth the money? I think it depends. I think if you have the money, go for it. I think go for the performance model though. Go for the best, the top of the line, fully loaded. This is almost fully loaded. The only thing it doesn't have is the performance range. This is the long range dual motor, and it has FSD as well. So it has everything but the performance. I think if you're gonna spend that much, you might as well just go for the performance. Also, I think the $35,000 car is worth it too. I think that's a great value for people. I believe that you're gonna save a lot on electricity and other things, less maintenance and stuff with this car. So I think it's worth it, and the features in it are amazing. I think in the future, FSD is gonna be a little bit better, a little bit more fleshed out, and it'll be worth it over time. But I think right now, regular autopilot is pretty much everything you need, honestly. But this is an amazing car, and if you could get it, because you'll definitely not be disappointed with this. All right, you guys, I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe.